Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio, video related products. Now today we're taking a look at a lens for my full frame Sony cameras, the Sony A7C that I have, a full frame body. I also have the APS-C A6700, the ZV-E10 over here getting another shot. But I bought it specifically from the A7C. I also purchased it because it's really lightweight and really compact. And what we're looking at is the Samyang 75mm AF F1.8 lens. I've got it actually fitted to my Sony A7C. And fantastic lens, particularly compact without the lens hood. It's got quite a nice lens hood, plastic fantastic, nothing special, but you know, it shades the light, shades any sun rays coming into the lens, so that does help. I like its colour scheme. It's a nice compact lens, and when you take it off the camera body, you can see there it is nice and compact. It isn't weather sealed, but it is a really cost effective lens. Has got a metal mount to mount it to the camera, so you're not going to have any issues with wear and tear. It should last many years. And being that it's 75mm, it makes for a great portrait lens. Now traditionally portrait lenses seem to be 85mm, between 85 and 135. Most people probably would use an 85mm lens. I like 75mm because A, it's nice and compact, but B, you don't have to be so far away from the subject to be able to get those lovely portrait shots. I've got some sample images I've taken here with the 75mm lens, no portraits specifically, but just to show how you can use it as a kind of general purpose lens. Obviously it's not wider angle, so you wouldn't want to use it for landscapes. Well, you could use it for landscapes, but certainly not urban scapes and what have you, probably not wide enough. You have to be too far away from the subject. But a great lens for portraits, great lens for video. Certainly a great lens here in the studio for filming this sort of thing. And as I said, it does create that lovely separation between myself and the background. Kind of similar to what I'm getting with my Panasonic S5 Mark II. That's getting the close-up shot now, but I'm got that set to f1.8, and you can see that it does create that lovely separation, that professional look between myself and the background. If you used a lens that does like f2.8, f4 or whatever, you're not going to get that same look, and it wouldn't look quite so professional. That's just my belief. Other people could have different opinions, and I'm sure they do. That's just my own opinion. I'm actually getting the wide shot on my Sony A6700. That's an APS-C body, and that's got the Sigma 18-50 lens set on that. I'm getting various other shots. I've got my DJI Pocket 3, just getting a generic wide shot there. Me ZV-1 getting the close-up shots of the product here, and then me ZV-E10 getting another wide shot there. So there we go. Yeah, the the Samyang 75mm. Now I have bought other Samyang lenses, and you'll see I'll leave a link at the end of this video to a review I've done on some Samyang lenses. I think they represent amazing value for money, and they're very compact and lightweight. I should put the weight in the video so you know how heavy it is. So there's the lens, a nice focus ring. Now I tend not to use manual focus, mainly because of my eyesight. Autofocus is crucial for me, and this is a really nice autofocus lens. Works really well, works well for video, and it works well for stills. It's really snappy. I really think there's no issues with the autofocus using this lens, and the image quality is nice and sharp, but it's nice and soft in the bokeh area, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So it's got, you know, everything going for it, I think. On the side there is a mode switch, which is quite interesting. It's got mode 1 and mode 2. Mode 1 is for focusing, so you can set that to manual focusing, and mode 2 is set to changing the aperture. And I believe if I set this up with the USB lead and its dock, I can actually put this into the Samyang dock. I do believe I can change that to be pretty much whatever I want, adjusting the ISO. I'm not going to confirm that at the moment because I have it set for adjusting the aperture. So the focus ring here, with that set to mode 2, will adjust the aperture, and that works really well. And that's great for the Sony A7C because it hasn't got a front control dial. If you look on the front here, the Mark II version has, but not the Mark I version. There is no control dial on the front here. It's blank. You have to use this wheel on the back to adjust the aperture. It's really nice, but the lens itself has an aperture control ring, so you can actually adjust the aperture using the control ring there. So I think that is really, really nice and really useful. As I say, it's a Sony E mount lens, so it'll work on any E mount body. Even the older E mount bodies will work fine. It is designed for full frame bodies, so it is a 75mm lens on a full frame body, but there's nothing to stop you using that on something like the A6700, 6600, the ZV-E10 over here, but you have to take into account the 1.5 times crop factor. So that would be somewhere in the region of about 110mm, something like that, on a APS-C body. I leave it in the video what the actual, what it actually is. And as I say, because of its sheer size, and that is, you know, just no size to that, no weight to that. I think that is, you know, a really, really great little compact lens. In fact, if I take the lens hood off, you'll see how really compact that is. You don't need a lens hood if you're using it in the studio. So that is extremely compact and a really nice, lightweight 75mm full frame lens. But as I say, it works equally as well on an APS-C body, just take into account the crop factor. I think what we'll do now, have a quick look at some of the photographs I've taken with this lens. If we look at a few photographs here, if we just take a quick look at this one, not in any particular order, and you can see here of my brother there, how the background looks really nice. I just think it looks really filmic looking. And this is on the older A7C. It's not on the newer A7C. It's on the 24 megapixel original A7C. And then you can see here, again, the bokeh just looks really nice, but it's nice and crisp. It's a nice sharp lens. Look at the detail there, really, really sharp. None of this has been lit, this is just using daylight coming in through the window. And again, main subject is beautifully in focus, but because it's shot at 70, it's a 75mm lens, you've got that lovely separation. Just looks nice and creamy, just looks really, really nice. And again there, the shadow detail looks beautifully, you know, out of focus. And again, you know, really, really good. You can see here how that is throwing out the background. It's highlighting the flowers, but throwing the bike out of focus. Again here, you know, the bike is in focus, the foreground is out of focus. You see what I'm getting at, you know, just works a treat. Very, very nice lens, creates some lovely effects. You don't even have to use it for portraits. You can use it, you know, for whatever you want to use it for. So yeah, I think it's a great, you know, great design. And if you look at this one here, the center cup is in focus, but the foreground and background is out of focus. That's because it is, again, a 75mm lens shot at f1.8, so it's created that lovely depth. So the eye is drawn to what you want, you know, what the audience to see, which is the center cup in focus. So yeah, great compact, very, very cost-effective lens. I almost said cheap, but I don't like the word cheap. So if you're on a really tight budget, maybe you don't do a lot of portraits. I don't do a lot of portraits, do very few portraits, but it's such good value for money, but it's a no-brainer. So you can buy it, get it cheap, throw it in your bag, and when you do need to take any portraits or you want to create these sort of effects, it's great. Now that's how I use it in the studio here for this very purpose, for doing you know, these videos. So there we go. That's the Samyang AF 75mm for the Sony E mount. As I say, I've got it on my Sony A7C, and you know, great product. I can highly recommend it. There will be links in the description of this video where you can see these sample photographs, and also I'll leave a link where you can download trial versions of different photo editing software. If you do decide you want to buy some of the software or you want to subscribe to any of it, use the codes that are on the website so you can actually get discounts. That's really, really useful. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you like the content on my videos. Would really, really appreciate that. It does help me grow the channel. Thanks very much. Cheers for now. Bye.